So hello and welcome. My name's Rob Orton from Technical Marketing here at Scality, and today I'm joined by Thomas Danand, the Senior Product Director for Artesca. Hi Thomas, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Rob, thank you, and I'm super happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you, me too. So at VeeamON, we announced the Artesca Plus Veeam Unified Software Appliance. Can you give me a quick technical overview of what it is, please?
Yeah, so the Artesca Plus Veeam Unified Software Appliance is the solution that will enable you to bring on the same server both the Artesca software and the Veeam software. So in the end, it provides you with a full end-to-end backup solution from the backup orchestration, which is provided by Veeam, to storing the backup in a fully immutable and secured way on the Artesca storage system.
Okay, sounds great. And do you want to talk me through the architecture?
Yeah, sure, Rob. So actually, in standard deployment, the deployment we have today, Artesca and Veeam are deployed on two separate machines. With the Artesca and Veeam Unified Software Appliance, Veeam is running on top of the Artesca Arden operating system. So the way we do it is basically in the Artesca platform, we run a virtualization engine, which is named KubeVirt, which is very well known in the CNCF ecosystem. And on top of this virtualization engine, we deploy Veeam 12 as part of a Windows virtual machine. We could also deploy Veeam 13 software appliance that will be available in a few weeks.
Okay, great. So it sounds like Artesca Plus Veeam is a great way to get both of these applications running on the same hardware and sort of deployed quickly. What are the main benefits that you see customers getting from this new solution?
So there are a lot of benefits, and I'm not sure, Rob, we'll have time to talk about everything, but I think we should focus on three of them. One is about the security it brings to have both Veeam and Artesca running on the same hardware. Another one is about the user experience of having both of the software being very close on the same hardware. And the last one will be obviously about the cost, because you don't need to, order and procure several systems in order to deploy the two softwares.
Okay, so let's investigate the security part of it then.
Sure. So security is really great story, because in normal architecture, you really need to have Veeam and Artesca on two separate environments. So you need Veeam to push the backups through the network. And to do so, we need to expose a S3 endpoint from Artesca to the outside. We need this S3 endpoint to be resolved by an external DNS, and so that Veeam can push the data directly on Artesca. So here, because Veeam and Artesca are co-located on the same machine, actually we don't need to have an external DNS to resolve the S3 endpoint, because the resolution is local. And that's a great value, because DNS is very often a sensible component of the infrastructure that can be hacked very often by the hackers. So here we don't need to depend on this DNS anymore. And the S3 endpoint is not exposed to the outside. We bring new security rules that make the S3 endpoint only accessible from Veeam and from the inside of the machine. So it's an additional protection to your data and to your backups, which makes it even harder to hack in the end. The other benefit of it is because Veeam and Artesca are running on the same machine, you don't also need to share the S3 credentials to the outside or to share it to another machine. They are always located to the same machine, and we are even thinking on automating the provisioning of those credentials to the Veeam configuration, so that the end user doesn't even see it at any point in time. So that's what we are adding in terms of security as part of this unified software appliance.
Okay, nice. So it really makes sense actually that because it's all running on one machine, there's no need to send data between the two components outside of it. So it's inherently more secure. What about the ease of use? I've heard that there's a sort of single pane of glass reporting screen as well.
Exactly. So we want to provide a single pane of glass, which will ease the experience of the end user, in terms of providing all the key information for him to understand that the full stack is properly running. So typically when you go in the Veeam UI to check your jobs, to check the status of your jobs, to see your different backup repository and everything, those kind of information, we will bring it into the Artesca UI. So we are building, this unified software appliance is containing both the standard Artesca metrics that you usually see in any of the Artesca deployments. It also brings those specific Vim metrics, such as the list of jobs, their status, how much time they took to run. And to collect those information, we are leveraging the Vim VBR REST API that is exposed by the Vim system. And we take the advantage of those two metrics to make some, I would say, correlated panels where we bring together Artesca and Vim metrics to give you even more enriched information about the health of the system.
Yeah, so the final thing you mentioned was about a cost efficiency as well. Can you talk about that a little bit, please?
Sure, Rob. So there are several ways of deploying Vim today. You can deploy it on the VMware or the virtualization infrastructure, on the production infrastructure. You can deploy it on a dedicated server. But in any cases, you will need to provision resources for this Vim software. So now those resources are provisioned directly on the Artesca system. So we will do some cost reductions thanks to this. And the specification of the Artesca system is obviously a bit higher than a normal standard Artesca because we need to have more CPU, RAM, and disk for the Vim software. But all in all, the cost of this single machine will be much less than having two different machines. Plus, this Vim software running on the Artesca system will not have any impact on the production environment.
Okay, that sounds great. So who are the ideal customers for this product and what capacity sizes are available?
Yeah, so this product can fit a lot of different requirements, but we wanted to focus on the one that really looking for all-in-one solution being deployed in small to mid-sized type of environments. So to do so, we really focus on addressing the small and medium businesses or the enterprise type of customers who needs to deploy a lot of backup solution on their edge type of location on their branch offices, for example. Okay. So the Artesca plus Vim Unified Software Appliance has been sized for delivering capacity, repository capacity from 20 terabyte to 440 terabyte, which corresponds to the ability to back up and to protect around from 10 terabyte of source data, which is roughly 40 VMs, to 240 terabyte of source data, which is roughly 1,000 VMs. So that's how the capacity range and the protected range we provide with the Artesca plus Vim Unified Software Appliance.
Okay. I also understand that there's a tower version that's available for the entry-level market as well.
Yeah, so initially Artesca was not available below 50 terabyte, but because we want to provide the best solution also for the small medium businesses, we decided to go with providing with 20 terabyte type of configurations. So those configurations will be available either as a tower type of configuration, and also it will be available at 1U type of configuration with only 4 drives in it. Then you will have access to standard type of configuration with 12 drives or even with 24 drives. So you can have a 24 drives type of configuration that you start half populated and progressively expand to 24 drives to deliver up to 440 terabyte repository capacity.
Okay, that sounds interesting. So a customer could buy a 24 drive enabled machine, start at 12 drives and expand as the backups grow.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so what's the delivery plan? When is Artesca plus Vim Unified Software Appliance going to be available?
So it will be available very soon. We are in the polishing phase, I would say. The target date for having the official Artesca V4 version, which will be the vehicle for this Artesca plus Vim Unified Software Appliance, is beginning of July. So beginning of July, you will be able, as an end user, to deploy fully generally available Artesca plus Vim solution into your environments.
Great, so that's not very far off now.
It's just the time for you to order the hardware and get it delivered to your premise.
Perfect. So we've heard a lot about the Artesca plus Vim appliance today, so thank you for your time, Thomas.
Thank you, Rob. It was really a pleasure to answer your questions.
Great, thank you. So you can always visit artesca.scality.com to download the Artesca datasheet and the white paper. And whilst you're there, you can check out the How to Buy section to reach out to your local Artesca partner or distributor. Thanks for your time today.